2 of Under Bonnet Checks. We're still looking for components that are loose or stuff that's chafing and could cause us a problem. Well, I found here a loose air filter. The bottom bracket rubber is broken. This will add to noise when the vehicle is running and it's insecure. As we start this up, you can see that bounce about. Not very good. That's something to note and then repair. Okay, with the Land Rover, we're going to undo the inlet pipe to the turbo, which is here. Remove the Jubilee clip and take the pipe out of the way. This is done with a screwdriver. What we're going to be looking for is the piping and the starter motor underneath it. Right, well, the first thing I've noticed, on the inlet of the turbo there is oil. That's an issue we need to resolve. And this pipe here is the compressor side of the turbo. This one goes to the injector pump and this one to the wastegate. If it's split, it will give you performance problems, so it's worth checking. All the way down there. It's hidden, so you need to take the air inlet pipe off. Okay, so actually this one's in good condition, so you don't need to worry about it, but it does cause you problems. Whereas this one, we need to check it all the way around to make sure it's not losing pressure anywhere, otherwise that'll affect the performance. Over the back there you've got your starter motor. Check the terminals are okay, not corroded, and everything's tight. I think by the looks of this we're going to have to come back and clean the power connectors. The loom's connected, however this pipe is not, it's loose, so I'm going to look for chafing later on at the back of the engine. That's quite important, this. Top of the turbo you have an oil feed pipe. Make sure the oil feed pipe is not split or leaking anywhere, otherwise you'll have a dead turbo and possibly a dead engine. These older diesel engines with rotary pumps rely on having no air leaks in the system on the pressure side, and it's worth checking very carefully your pipes. I can see here that the supply to the injection pump is actually chafing on the accelerator cable, and the bracket here is loose, needs to be rectified. On the injector pipes you have these brackets which we call idiot plates, and it's supposed to keep the injector pipes apart. Any pairs of injector pipes should not be chafing. Okay, so we have fuel lines here, and chafing on 2 pipes, eventually you'll get a fuel leak and will cause you problems. This piping's loose and it's also touching somewhere else. It's worth checking very carefully for any chafes. Alright, so at the top here you have leak back pipes which connect your injectors. Make sure that these are in good condition. If they leak overnight, if they're split and let air in, you'll find that the engine won't start in the morning. It seems to drain back the fuel for some reason. Leak back pipe, which goes to the back of the injector pump, is loose and it's chafing on the injector pipes. There's a bracket here, it probably just needs connecting. Take care of your pipes and they'll take care of you. The throttle linkage here has actually got quite a lot of slack in it, and this is an adjustment you can do straight away without too much worry. On the back here you have a adjustment which takes the slack out of the cable. Don't pull it too tight, leave a tiny little bit of slack in there, but the more slack you take out of it, the more throttle response you'll actually have. Going back to the piping, this accelerator cable is fitted in the wrong way. It's also loose, and the bracket here has been rubbing on the clutch master cylinder piping, so eventually that will wear through and you'll lose your clutch. Not good, whoever fitted that. More defects to write down. We seem to be getting quite a big list at the moment. So we've got the air filter that's got a broken rubber bobbin. Also have a loose bolt here and the loom. There's a chafed alternator wire. This could cause actually serious problems with your alternator if it wears through and shorts out. Also, electrical connectors are worth checking to make sure they're not corroded. This one is the temperature gauge for the engine. And also, things like brake pipes, they're supposed to be secure. This one isn't. This one has actually sprung away from the bulkhead and it's just floating there, as it were. That's an MOT failure. There's also evidence of recent work being done. EGR valve has been touched. I'll keep that and note that down as well. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the cooling hoses, the condition of them, and any leaks that might be present. This looks like it's had a leak, or there's something going on here on that union. Okay, look for chafing, especially around brackets, to see that the piping is okay hasn't worn through anywhere. Don't forget this is pressurized. And also loose connections. This one has been left loose. We're looking for perishing or any chafing. This hose here has a clip around it and it's securing it away from the water pump pulley. Make sure it's there and secure. It's worth checking to make sure that it hasn't made any contact at all with the pulley. As I said in part 1, that a loose radiator will cause you problems. Cowling wants to be secure, make sure it's not rattling on anything. This all actually adds to noise when you're running your vehicle. Rubber grommets, bushes and the such like help to reduce vibration. Intercooler pipe should be secure, the clip secure and not chafing or perished. I'm going to go with tradition here and keep the battery as part of the engine bay even though it's under the seat here. What we need to do is make sure that cables are not rubbing or cutting into the bodywork anywhere. This will cause shorts. That the battery is not going to drop out of the bottom. The battery is moving about, as you can see, like this, and as you're accelerating or decelerating could cause big problems. It should be secure. Battery itself looks too big for the vehicle. It's more of a lorry battery, a small lorry battery. It's not necessary on this size of engine. Okay, so we're checking the terminals are tight and clean and there's no corrosion on them. This will inhibit any charging or starting. Any fluid that's in the battery, if you can get to it, is worth inspecting the levels to make sure they're okay. So here we have it, plenty of defects. I'm probably actually on about page 6 and we haven't even gone under the vehicle yet. So we'll get a full list and then we'll prioritise the jobs that need doing first.